talk about this report.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Came out by the Athletics Integrity Unit. We'll start with Lawrence Cherono, who positive test for what's the drug? I never know. What
a banned substance. Okay. Yeah. So Cherono is obviously a big name.
Yeah.
He won major marathons. I picked him to win the marathon here. An interesting thing about this, Athletics Integrity Unit mentions in there that they were frustrated that the results took so long to get to them because it prevented Kenya from entering another runner in these world championships. So both of these rulings came very recently. If you look at the dates, like we had a meeting with this athlete on July the 15th or 14th, whatever. So Cherono is out. I don't know the length of the suspension or what it's going to ultimately end up being. He's a big name. Like you could argue if you ranked men's marathon right now, you have obviously Kipchoge cut above everybody else.
But
Cherono is in the second tier, and you could say he's towards the top of that second tier, right? He is certainly one of the best 5 men's marathoners in the world right now. So that's a big deal. We'll stay tuned, figure out what the length of the suspension will be and all the appeals, if there are any appeals going forward. But that's a big name and probably pretty frustrating for Kenya because now they're not able to add somebody into the marathon, an event where they really pride themselves on getting a lot of medals in and where they have a lot of depth. They could have entered somebody who would have a shot to win the freaking race. And then now they can't. But that's just the reality when you have a delay in the test results. So that was one. The other one was Randolph Ross, 400-meter runner. I'm going to look at the verbiage here. So for tampering with the doping control process, it says the allegation arises out of the athlete's conduct during the course of an investigation into a potential whereabouts violation. They were talking about there was an unsuccessful test attempt, and sounds like they got information from him as early as or as late as the 14th of July on that. Can you bring that one up one more time, Colt, on the screen so we can see it? I believe it's the 14th of July when, the 8th. Sorry, yes, 14th of July. Excuse me, when he was interviewed by the AIU in Eugene. So he was here, presumably ready to compete. So there's a lot with that goes into it because he hasn't signed a professional contract as far as I know. If he goes back to school to compete, I'm not sure where this would leave him in terms of competition. Yeah, so still trying to figure out all that. Again, I've learned my lesson with these things, not to jump to conclusions when you see a press release. It could be, it could go in a lot of different directions in both ways, right? Like it could turn out to be something very serious. It could turn out to be something short. The tampering thing, though, that is a big deal. Obviously, when you're talking about changing information on whereabouts, they take it very seriously at the AIU. So don't know on that one. In terms of the meets, where do you think this leaves the U.S.?
U.S. is going to be fine, regardless. We should be fine, at least in this 4x4 with the men. We got Ryan Benjamin. We got other people all over the track who can run great quarters. Champion Allison and Michael Norman, notably, obviously, Michael Cherry as well. But I'm not really concerned about how it affects USA. I'm more thinking about how it affects Randolph Ross because, I know it's not a whereabouts failure. I tweeted out it was a whereabouts failure, but it's the tampering of a whereabouts failure.
Right.
It feels like the word tampering also sounds very facetious, right?
That's not the right word. Nefarious. Facetious is like sarcastic.
Okay.
Nefarious is meaning evil.
Tampering seems like nefarious, like who I'm going to tamper.
And it could be.
And it could be. Yeah. But it also could be like, oh, shit. Like, it could be a mistake. Or it could be like, oh, I don't want to get a second strike.
So this was in the McNeil case, right? Yeah. And as far as I remember, it was with the second strike. And then information, they found information that wasn't correct on the forms. And I always wondered, well, if it was only going to be the second strike, why not? Like, you could accept the missed test, and then you still have one more. Obviously, we don't know every single thing that went into it. So yeah, I'm just waiting for more information. That's why I'm kind of focusing on the short term, just because what we do know, he's out of the meet, which obviously is a blow to the U.S.
It sucks. He's so young. It's just like, God dang it! Like, this always has to happen. Something like these athletes get either tarnished or banned for a short period of time or long period of time for not, and none of them are positive tests. There are tampering situations. There are whereabouts failure situations. There, and it's just like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I think, man,
Um,
I personally do not believe Randolph Ross is putting foreign substances into his body. I think he's a clean athlete. Obviously, I have no idea, and you got to play by the rules. And I guess technically, according to AIU, he broke the rules, and you got to take it for what it is. But yeah, it's just a bummer. He's young. You want him to have the opportunity to run on Hayward Field and for the USA or the World Championships.
Yeah,
and now there's always going to be that question. It just sucks.
Wait and see. That's my advice to everybody. I know everybody wants to have an immediate reaction and a quote about what it is, but until we find out more, all we know is he's out of this meet. Someone asked, could they run Godwin? Yeah, Godwin, they entered an alternate. So it's my understanding they can run Elijah Godwin.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, he was entered, right.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the the alternate's always listed. So,
but alternate doesn't always travel.
Well, but Godwin's here. He ran the mixed 4x4.
So that's awesome for him.
So,
what if Godwin goes on in medals?
Yeah.
That'll be wild.
I mean, certainly going to use him in the 4x4 as well. So, yeah, Ace asked, will someone replace him in the 400? It's my understanding that yes, Godwin will move into that spot, but we will see. It's track and field. You never know.
Never know.
Never know.